Everyone talks about wanting to be fit and healthy, but sometimes we don't have the skills and attributes needed to actually achieve this. We think weight loss first, then we think about how to lose weight. Maybe what we should really be thinking about is how to stay fit and healthy so that we can improve our wellness. My guest Lola decided to focus on becoming fit from the inside out. And for me, I can't wait to learn some much needed insights on how to do this effectively. Lola Talabi-Oni has over 19 years of experience in research, policy, and entrepreneurship, spanning across North America, Europe, and Africa. Currently, she serves as an independent consultant on the thematic areas of sustainability, financial inclusion, and gender equity. She holds an executive master's in public policy, regulations analysis, and public economics from the London School of Economics and Political Science. Welcome, Lola. Yes. I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
This is going to be so much fun. So we're always trying to achieve a wholesome life. Yeah. But I actually want to even start by asking you, what does fitness mean to you?
To me, fitness is about health. It's about wellness, well-being. It's about ensuring that you're living the most productive life that you can live. That's what fitness, means for me.
Okay, so you said it's about health, wellness, and well-being, and also living a productive life. Can you explain that a little bit more?
So for me, my fitness journey is very intrinsically tied to just health, living a long life. We all think about how we should live, how we can live the longest life, the most fullest life, especially when we think about family, children, be there for our children, be there for our loved ones. So when I start thinking about fitness, that's what I'm thinking about. How can I ensure that, I'm mobile, that I am healthy, that I'm able to deal with any illness or sickness, that I'm in my best shape to meet these life physical challenges. So that's what fitness.
Did something happen to make you want to go on this journey?
Actually, it was during COVID. It was during COVID times, and in the beginning, if you remember, there were lots of information going on around. And it was, I remember reading something that said if you were overweight, you didn't have, that it could be an issue in terms of getting over or surviving COVID. So I was very anxious about that, and that spurred me. So that was one. And then the second one was that I was actually diagnosed with herniated disc in two spots down my spine. And I was due to have surgery, and I didn't want to have surgery. So those two events really motivated me to get started along this new fitness journey. Even though it's not the first time, I've done it before.
But it's a continuous thing, though.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's a continuous thing.
Exactly.
But how does it relate to you being more productive? Because I'll tell you why I asked that. It's January and we're looking at ways to be better, and to achieve our goals and all of that. So how does this connect?
Well, when you feel your best, you do your best. That's it in a short sentence. And exercise helps with anxiety. Having the discipline helps you organize your day. It lets you, even when you're working through difficulties, it translates from just a workout into your life, where you feel if you have a challenge, you feel I can go just a little bit more. I can do just a little bit more. I know that my body can take it. I know that my mind can take it.
How do you even get to the point where you say your body can take it? Because a lot of the times, people want to do it in their heads, but in reality, they don't.
So for me, this particular journey is probably the easiest, and I'm at the eldest, obviously I'm at the oldest point I've been, but it was easy because I started out by wanting to give myself grace, wanting to get to a place where I loved myself. I wanted the best for myself, regardless of what that looked like physically. So that allowed me to be able to give myself the best. When I wake up and I go and work out, it's about giving myself the best that I feel that I can do for myself that day. And I also started out by doing little things, going for walks. And going for walks was my me time. No one could disturb me. I could be alone with my thoughts, which also promoted well-being for me. So that's how it started. Just if it's 30 minutes, in that 30 minutes, I have put myself first.
I like that. Putting yourself first. You had said earlier about you wanted to give yourself grace. Can you give me some practical examples of how to give yourself grace? Because I'm sure there are people who are thinking, okay, you make it sound so easy, but with the kind of life we live right now, especially, you know, in the times we're in, how do you even do that?
So it started when I realized that many times weight loss or fitness goals come from a place of self-loathing, really. Sometimes it's about, oh, I don't want to look in the mirror when I dress up because I don't like what I see. And that was a big thing for me, where I realized I was reading something and it said, have you ever looked in the mirror, even when you're getting dressed? And I realized I just put on whatever I have and go. So that's the first thing, is to say, what phase am I in my life? What challenges are there? Especially for us as women. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I run a business, or I'm traveling for work. My life is busy, or sometimes you're taking care of parents, you're taking care of loved ones. So it's giving yourself grace to say, this is the phase of life I'm in now, and that's okay. I'm giving of myself. But also, this is the body that is giving of myself. So how can I give even a little bit back to myself?
I see what you mean. That's deep. For men, how would that translate?
So I try and refrain, to be honest, talking about for men, because I don't have the male experience. But I think the idea of wanting to live your best life is something that's translatable for everybody, especially as you get older. You have stressors, you have things that you're responsible for and to. And sometimes those get in the way and you feel overwhelmed. Or you wonder how you're going to be able to meet these responsibilities and these challenges. And what I've found is that just taking that discipline to carve out time for yourself translates into the other areas of your life, allows you, even if it's 30 minutes, to think through some of these challenges. And you'll be surprised how sometimes the solution will come to you when your mind is allowed to just be.
You know, when we had said we were going to talk about fitness goals, you know, wellness from the inside out, I'm sure some people thought, what does that mean? You know, but hopefully it's easier to understand now. But are there also transferable skills that you've learned along the way? You know, skills that translate into the other areas of your life, maybe even your work life?
I think I touched on it a little bit earlier.
Yes, you did.
You know, there's a mantra that I have in my head, and I actually shared it with my son recently, who swims competitively, where I said, you know, sometimes when I'm walking, or sometimes when I'm at the point where you want to give up, I say to myself, half man, half amazing. Half man, half amazing. And that just spurs me on. It reminds me that I can do a lot more than I think that I can. And many times what fitness also teaches you is that your body itself is capable to do more than your mind thinks that it is. So you have to trust the capabilities of your body to be able to rise up to the challenge and the task. That is translatable in your work life. When you have a challenge, when you feel like you've reached a block, where you feel like, where should I go? How can I take it? You've already trained your mind to think through, at this moment where I feel like I can't go further, I know that my body can go further and be stronger.
How do you train your mind? How do you get to that point of self-trust?
So it's just working out. It's the consistency of working out. It's the daily discipline of working out. Anybody that's ever stepped in a gym or that's ever picked up weights knows that at some point, and they say you should lift weights to failure. So at some point you're thinking, I cannot possibly do one more rep. But then you do.
Yeah.
And you get stronger.
Yeah.
Over time, if you're consistent enough, you start to trust yourself that it's okay, I won't fall. I'll do it.
Makes sense. My trainer says to me, to failure. And I'm like, dude. But what you're saying, it really does make sense. And how has it all, so earlier you had said this is the second time you've been on this journey.
Yeah.
What's been the difference between the first time and now?
This time it was amazing, and I feel like it is what we talked about earlier. The first step for me was giving myself grace, was loving myself at that phase or the stage that I was in. So when I first started this particular journey, I was wearing a size 20 UK. And, in comparison now I wear a size 12 UK. But I wanted to get to a point where I didn't hate who that person was. I didn't, if I saw a picture, I wasn't like, oh, look at that's not nice. It's nice. That person looks nice. That person is the person that got me here. And to honor myself and to give myself grace. So yes, I've exercised, I've lost a lot of weight. That's fine, but I'm still the same person. And if I gained weight, I would still be the same phenomenal person. So I'm not doing it to prove anything about my worth or my validity. I'm doing it strictly for health and to feel good, to be in the best physical shape I could possibly be in. I'm
listening to you and I'm like, you sound super confident. And that is a pretty cool thing. Have you always been this confident, or has this journey helped in your levels of confidence?
I think this journey has really helped because, like I said, it started from a place where I had to learn to love myself and to accept myself and to give myself grace, to understand that this is the phase of my life that I'm in and to honor that. So that was the first step, and I think that's made all the difference. But the fact that I've done it before, the fact that I've learned a lot, I've researched a lot, I know how the body works, I know how calorie energy works, I know, food intake, what's good for me, what doesn't work for me, what has worked for me. So I feel like I have all the tools I need.
To these tools, so you've touched on it at various points in this conversation. If you were going to, bring this home, are there 3 to 5 things that you could leave us with that people could use to start their own journey from the inside out?
Okay, so if we're talking fitness or nutrition, I think the first is to honor the phase you're in now. I think it's very important. So that means don't try and start, Lola is doing 1 hour strength training, so I want to do 1 hour strength training. No, if you have 15 minutes, if you have 20 minutes, if your back hurts, if your knee hurts, if your toe hurts, if your shoulder hurts, honor it. It's fine. You'll build and you'll grow from there. I think 2, which is really important in fitness, is the idea that people really need to understand that it is energy. So it's calories in, calories out. Regardless of what you do, whether you're doing intermittent fasting, whether you're doing keto, whatever it is, you have to be mindful of what you're putting inside your body, but also what you're expending, with movement and exercise. And you have to think about, I guess, that would be number 3 for me now, would be the quality of food that you're letting into your body. You have to always think about, so there's the calories in, calories out, but where am I getting these calories from? Is it from an avocado, which has all sorts of nutritional benefits for you, but is still calorie dense? Or is it from potato chips, which has the same amount of calories, but not nutritionally dense for you? So constantly think about that. And I think maybe the last bonus point I would say is that people also think about like motivation. And really, you don't have to wait for motivation for sustainable like fitness. You commit to the discipline of it, you make a plan, and you execute on it. That's all it requires. Because many times, most people that are consistent in working out, they don't feel like it.
True.
So, but you do it because you've promised yourself, and you don't want to let yourself down. Once you let yourself down, you're telling yourself that you're not worth it, and we shouldn't do that.
Wow, that was a slam dunk bonus point. Wow. As always, we've come to the end.
Oh.
You know, it always goes by very quickly.
Yes, there's so much more.
Yeah. You know, but we will do this again because it's a lifelong conversation.
Absolutely.
I'm really quite pleased you came here today.
Thank you, Feran.
I'm so happy, Lola. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
I really, really hope that this has given us some insight into how to do it differently. It's definitely giving me some insights because, yeah, there's certain things that I definitely need to do differently. So, yeah, thanks a lot. Now, John, Helen, and myself are going to very quickly round up the show. So please stay with us for a few more minutes whilst we do this. Thank you.